Hey, chickadees, welcome into today's episode of Mojo Mysticism. Today, our guides have called us back to an oldie, not an oldie, it is for this channel, oldie but goodie. It's the Oracle the Seven Energies by Colette Baron Reed, my future newest member of my BFF posse. So we'll see how that goes. And so we're just going to see what our guides have for us. As usual, we'll just shuffle these up. Oh, wow, there's one already, and a second one already. Wow, okay. They are getting to it this morning. Oh, here's the third one. Okay, let's see what they have. Okay, this is interesting today. Huh. Okay, so 3 cards again. Card 27 is the first card. This is a Grand Symphony. This card is telling us to be aware of the role that we play in the larger symphony of life, not just in our families, not just with ourselves, but also in our communities and in the world at large. So this is a grand symphony. And this is also about celebrating your uniqueness because every member of the symphony is needed. Okay, now if you think about a symphony, you're going to have several flute players, right? You'll have a first chair, second chair, and maybe they have a third chair. I don't know how that works anymore. It's been so long since I've been in a symphony. High school was the last time I was in a symphony, and that's been a minute. So, but you have a series of each instrument. You don't normally, most instruments, you'll have multiples of, especially the horns and the woodwinds and the brass instruments. You'll have multiples of most of those. Why would you have multiples of most of those? It's because the sound gets fuller. It's fuller, richer, deeper sound because the note coming out of one flute and the note coming out of the next flute, they're at the same pitch, but they have a different depth to them and a different tone. Not really tone, but a different character to them, and it's the blending of those that makes it so beautiful. So even if like you're a flute and you see other flutes, that does not mean that your flute isn't important. Okay, you get the analogy, hopefully. So that's a Grand Symphony. And the second card they gave us is quieting the mind. It's quieting the mind. This is allowing ourselves to understand that things just come and go through our mind, right? We are not our thoughts. We do not need to be captive to our thoughts. We can let them go and we can let our mind settle. And that is quieting the mind. I do this through, and I've mentioned on the channel before, so I won't mention it again, but I do this through shamatha meditation, just a breathing practice that gets me into deep stillness and a quiet mind. This is reminding us that even when we're in the grand symphony of life, and especially if the notes get a little bit sour sometimes, right? If somebody's a little flat or a little sharp, quieting the mind is how we deal with that. Now, here's the card 3. So they are continuing with the music theme, not with the cards, but with the message around the cards. So the third card is card 42, Smoke and Mirrors. This card is telling us to watch out, not just for others that are putting on a facade and that may not have your highest and best good in mind, but also where do you do that to yourself? Okay, so when we look at the musical, this kind of idea of the symphony, right? You've got all these instruments coming together to make music in a way that is orderly. They have a tempo that they go with, and they try not to be flat or sharp. They try to be right on pitch, and we do that, and we all play our part in that symphony. And we play our part the best when we have stillness of mind. Okay, so quieting the mind. And then there are some people in the symphony and maybe shouldn't be in the symphony, right? Maybe there's another symphony for them. And that's the smoke and mirrors. But that's looking at people, people who are maybe their time in our life has expired, like it's past, and it's time to let that relationship go. And, you know, because the smoke and mirrors is not helpful for us. And then again, like I said, where are we doing that to ourselves is really important as well. So if we're going to be part of the Grand Symphony, and if we're going to play at whatever instrument it is that we're playing that's unique to us, we're going to do that best when we have a quiet mind and when we are not engaged in smoke and mirrors, either with others or with ourselves. So that's the message today, folks. I hope you have a great day. Thank you so much for being part of our community. We will be back here next week with more Mojo Mysticism. And until then, I love you, and we'll see you later. Mwah.